I just wanted to make a quick little video here to talk to you guys about why liquidity grabs are important and how liquidity grabs are relevant to us when we are trading smart money. So the first thing I want to go ahead and talk about is this range that I have set here. So I have this range here. We have double bottoms and double tops. A lot of new traders or a lot of old school traders trade, retail concepts like support and resistance. They rely on indicators, things like that. When you're trading smart money like supply zones, order blocks, fair value gaps, a one key indicator is always liquidity, especially if you're going along with your trading bias. And for me, I'm actually planning on taking a trade here on USD CAD here for a various amount of reasons that I'm not going to go over. I'm just focused on today talking to you guys about the liquidity aspect. But right now, there's traders right now expecting this to go down forever. And they're probably selling where I just marked right now. Now the funny thing is, hold on a second guys, I'm trying to get this fucking thing. Here it is. Alright. The funny thing is, their money is sitting right along this line. If you can see that. Those little money icons are where their money is at. Maybe we have some here that's planning to take a trade. We have some limit orders there. Now, one thing I always notice is when you're trading smart money, often our entries are after liquidity grabs. So our entries are after people lose. So for example, a lot of people are planning on trading along this this resistance, when for me, I'm waiting for it to break this. And some people are like, yeah, I'll trade up here, blah, blah. But I'm looking for it to break out and go to my supply zone, otherwise known as my imbalance / gap. And I have two gaps here. The first one I'm more confident in, so I have like the SL here just above the last one. But this is basically my trade that I have planned for tomorrow. I just wanted to quickly explain this to you guys. And for when you're taking profits and you're trading smart money concepts, number one thing that will help you guys to find a place where to take your profit is to always take profit at double bottoms and double tops. That's the number one thing that's helped my trading a lot, is when I adjust my R&R tool, and instead of just targeting some random area or a gap. Gaps are fine to target too if you know what you're doing, but for me, I like to target just support and resistance like normal people that they trade off of. And I like to just use that as my take profit, because a lot of banks and institutions, they take liquidity that way, and of course other ways too, like for example trend lines. So trend lines, we can have trend line liquidity too, like this. And if we're selling, like for example, if we're looking, the price was selling off already, blah blah blah, and then we're looking to sell here, and then there's a bunch of retailers here. The smaller movement equals the retailers, because the retailers are people like you and I. They're just normal people, and a lot of people in America, or just people around the world, they don't have a lot of money, so they can't make, or they don't have enough money to significantly move the market like smart money does. And this is another reason why it's important to trade and align your setups and trades based on the news, because that's actually what moves the market. Or the only time you're not trading based on the news is when you're trading retail concepts, when you're trading in areas that have low volatility, which is like most retailers do. That's why they get shocked when you see that you can do higher risk to reward trades and stuff, and things like that. Because smart money trading is different from retailer trading. Smart money trading is more precise. Retail trading is more personal based. Smart money trading has to do with actual banks and institutional and smart money activity. It has to do with the people who actually control the market through price action and volume. And so, if you were selling, if you didn't have, let's say, a double bottom here, an area to target could be just this trend line itself. So I could have let's say we're in a downtrend, and that was this box here. This is my entry here, this zone. Okay, I can take profit. I can choose anywhere, to be honest, to take profit until the end of this trend, because this is all retail. So you can actually target places within the trend. And if there's actually a double, let's say a double top or a double bottom within the trend, that's even better. You can do that too. But yeah, I just wanted to make this quick video to share what I know and just to help any traders that need some extra tips out there. One thing that I also want to say is, again, only trade pairs that have news coming up on economic data sites like Forex Factory, FX Street. Look on those sites and change your settings to show you only high impact news and medium impact news. That way you'll have more chances of volatility in the market, which is what you need, because volatility is what moves price significantly, like you see here in my example. And I take trades based off significant price action. So that can be whether before the news or after news. They say don't trade the news, but what that means to me and what I notice is that you shouldn't trade like directly. Like, for example, the news is at 9:30. You shouldn't trade directly at 9:30. Your setup or your trading plan should align with the news. And even if you don't know the result, you should be still expecting for the news to push your trade into profit. Either you should be entering before the news, so before, let's say 9:30, or after 9:30, or after the time that you're looking at. And so if you're trading before the time of the news, usually the news will push your trade into profit or push your trade to your entry so you can get profit. And if your trade is aligning with if you can't find a setup, let's say before the news, and you can't find any setup for a pair, let's say there's US dollar news, but you can't find any setups for the US dollar currency. What you can do then is wait until after the news of US dollar, and then what happens is, what I notice is, let's look down here. The market will always, let's say it's going up, the market will always leave a correction after the news, is what I noticed. So the news, since the news moves the market significantly, say US dollar news makes the market go up sharply, okay, so like this. Okay, so let's say that little push up, that unhealthy price action, that aggressive movement upwards was the news, okay? So let's say, like, oh no, I missed it. You didn't miss it. The news always creates itself, so you don't have to have fear of missing out when you see something pump or dump. So a lot of traders, for example, they saw price going up really quickly, and it was the news, they would buy on the top in the fear of missing out. But you don't have to fear, because a lot of the times markets will always retrace after the news, tap into that demand zone or supply zone or whatever you have, like you trade, whether if it's fair value gaps, order blocks, schematics, supply and demand zones. There will always be a correction that it will tap into, and then you can actually look for a setup at that correction and see if it aligns with how you trade. And then you can, if you take profit, it can be that high of that was created from the news, or some further liquidity up here maybe, perhaps. But yeah, guys, I know this is kind of all over the place, but this was basically a little instructional video here that I wanted to share with you all. So it's also important to understand, like, just go on the chart and back test, because back testing is what's actually going to make you money. Because being profitable in Forex simply just means you can find consistent setups that have a high win rate. So everyone has a different strategy. You don't have to have there's no magical strategy. There's just strategies that work for different types of people based on what they know and how they learn and what kind of method and approach they learn. And I did a lot of retail concepts. I started in 2018. I've done a lot of retail concepts for years, and I just now learned about this last year, about smart money and what that even means. And so I feel more connected to the market now that I know now that I'm aware of smart money. And also, it's also important to come on here and back test, because the more you strengthen your ability to find setups, the better it is for you to be able to get on the charts and spot them in real time. And when you have that ability, the profits will just come like nothing, because the profits that you're seeing, that you're excited about, are just a reflection off of your strategy. It's not magic. It's just your strategy, and your lot size, of course. And the cool thing about now that today we have prop firms, and we have a lot of prop firm companies that will offer you leverage, so you can scale your business. And that's really a really cool thing. And so if you're really into learning Forex, and you should really take your skills seriously and your craft seriously, and pursue it every day, and do something with it every day in order to gain your goal. Because the only way you're going to be profitable is if you're going to be able to spot consistent setups all the time, and be consistent with yourself out of the markets, like personally in your own life and in the market. Because if you're just trading sometimes and then you don't take it seriously, and you like forget about it for a couple weeks, and you're just and maybe you're angry when you go on the charts, or you're rushing the setups and you're just impulsively getting into trades, that's how you blow your account. But when you take your time, choose only like 5 to 7 pairs and stuff like that, and then just focus on a small group of pairs, like for example the FX major pairs, like the ones everyone knows: Euro USD, AUD USD, UJ, things like that. And just only trade. That's the biggest tip, guys. The 2 biggest tips I have for you is trade only when the pairs that have news coming out, and look for a trade and align your trade setup either before the news or after the news. So you can write those down. And if you want to connect with me more, I have an Instagram. It's at dynasty_wolves. It's in the comments. Whatever you're watching a reel, it's in the comments. And if you're watching, or you can click on my profile. If it's on YouTube, it's in the description. But yeah, guys, I wanted to just make this quick video. I hope you guys found value.